How do you become a boss entity clearer? What is an entity? How do we clear it? How do we help spirits pass over? Today, I want to go deep into a channel to tell you a little bit more about these things. So before we go there, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Victoria Bond. I'm a psychic medium, a spiritual empowerment coach, and I am here to tell you so many juicy things that you may not have ever heard before. So click the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and go make sure you check out my other videos because we've got some gold in there and some golden ones to come. So let's get into this right now. Now, before I was doing readings as a psychic medium, what I was doing is I was clearing entities. So the first question is what is an entity? Like literally, what is an entity? So many of us believe that there's a human body and then there is spirit when we don't have our body anymore, but we don't really go further into that. So I want to first of all expand your mind a little bit and ask you these questions. Do you believe in fairies? Do you believe in goblins? Do you believe in demonic energies? Do you believe in angels? Like, what are the things, pixies and trolls and giants and witches? Like, there's all of these different types of entities, light beings, extraterrestrials. And then there's a whole lot there, right? That's not even like touching that's something that's scraping the surface when we talk about extraterrestrials and light beings. But what if there was so much more than just the human body and spirit? And what I like to do in Magnificent Mediumship, specifically my program, is to get people beyond the mind and the concepts that there's just human and there's just spirit. In fact, entities don't necessarily have to be a living creature like a fairy or an angel. They can be an energy like a soul fragment. They could be like the tree collective, right? That can be an entity. Like what else is there? Like the mermaid collective, the Lurian collective. So these can be an entity of collectives that we can be aware of. So how do we know whether we need to clear an entity? Well, first of all, if it's a collective entity, it's not going to be attaching to us. In fact, it has got its own thing going on, right? But if it's like an energy and we feel like something's kind of not us, but kind of attached to us, and we're starting to feel the symptoms of exhaustion, like in fatigue, we're starting to feel a bit sick, or our thoughts are kind of like kind of a little bit warped or not quite ours. Maybe they're kind of negative. The chances are that you have an entity attached to you. Now, this could literally be an energy or entity from another human being, like a thought form, which can create its own entity and attach onto you. A judgment, a point of view, a consideration, a projection, an expectation. It can literally, you can grab that and make it your own, and it creates an entity. This is an energetic entity. We've all experienced this, right? When you've literally attuned and adopted somebody else's point of view about you or about another or about some type of situation or like whatever. How crazy is that? Yes, we can create our own entities. So let's start there. How do you clear these mistaken beliefs and limitations? Because that's what it is. And that is an entity. That is an energetic entity that you have brought into. We can revoke it. We can cut those cord ties and those contracts. And like when we get close to somebody, what actually happens is we've got these two individuals, right? And we come together and we've got these auras. And when we start merging our auras together because we start having a close relationship, and this does happen in intimate relationships, whether it's like a sexual relationship or not, the intimacy and the closeness, you start merging, you start becoming a collective entity. You are who you hang out with, right? So to dismantle ourselves from the other so we can be a clear channel, we need to cut those cord ties. What I recommend we do is we cut the cord ties from this collective entity that could be actually influencing our energy and making us a bit confused about what our thoughts are ours, what ailments are ours. We start empathing on another. It could be our children, it could be our husband, it could be our best friends, it could be someone that you're working with, that you're intertwined with. We want to cut those cords every single day. This is how you stay clear from this type of energy and entity. Now, this is nothing to be afraid of as human beings. This is honestly the most common one. We become literally attuned with the people we're hanging out with, and sometimes we get lost in the other because we're molding an entity collective, right? Have you heard of this before? Pop it in the chat box. Is this making sense to you? Is this going over your head and you're going, what is this chick talking about? I want to hear it all, because just remember, I'm in a channel right now, so I haven't prepared to talk about this particular thing, but this is what Spirit is guiding me to talk about. So when you cut the cord ties, what I like to do is visualize my heart and my third eye connected in with my husband or with my children or with my friends, and I literally cut those cord ties. Now, I love connecting with people. I love it. But I don't want to become that person. I don't want to get lost in that person. I want to make sure my thoughts are my thoughts. My feelings are my feelings. My knowing is my knowing. And I don't really want anyone in my aura at the end of the day. I want to be a clean channel and vessel. So although I love the connections with my children, my husband, and my friends and my clients, it's really important to cut that energy to come back to self. Because the truth is, we're psychic, so we can dive and jump in at any time, but we must actually feel individual expression within ourselves as well. So cutting your cord ties every night before you go to bed is really important, and asking for any energies or entities that are not of the highest good to step away now, knowing that you are the strongest entity in your reality, and the protection that is required is to be in your strength and in your power. So this is what we do. Now, sometimes when we have these connections with people, you could connect in with like a snaky energy or somebody who's got a motive or an agenda, right? So somebody who's wanting something from you. And this has actually happened in my coaching journey, where somebody wants to take over the role of the coach. So they want to hijack, or they want to, like, it might be a karmic energy. They want to bring me down or something. So what I do is I can notice the energy. I cut the cord ties. I do the clearing and ask for any energy to step away out of my aura, because they don't need to be with me to be in that. You can be in a completely different country and that can still happen, because energy travels, right? So when that is happening, sometimes we have to literally revoke the contracts, the oaths, the vows, anything is from the past lives, or even the multi-dimensions. We might be connecting in different timelines or in different dimensions right now, and maybe it's kind of bleeding through into this dimension. So I revoke all of my contracts and oaths and vows that I had with you throughout all times, spaces, and dimensions. I call back my power and I release you, and I am whole. I am in my authenticity. I am in my integrity, and I open my heart and I flow you love, and thank you for all of the lessons. So if you've had somebody who's been like literally a thorn in your side, whether it's a friend, whether it's a client, whether it's a family member, it's really important to do the same process that you do at the end of every day for those that have been in your life. Now, I don't want to walk around feeling my husband's emotions or my daughter's emotions. I want to feel me, right? So then I can be a better mom, a better partner. I want to be a better coach. So I can't take on other people's stuff as mine. So cutting those cord ties helps you have that observer's point of view with no judgment. So can you see there's two trainings there? One of people have been like too pushy and needy and trying to like suck your soul, and other people where it's like just your everyday people. So I'd love to hear from you. Pop that in the chat box down below. Let me know, how is this resonating with you so far? The other types of entity attachments are literally from the dead people, the spirit. Now, unfortunately, sometimes when a human being, the body dies, the spirit doesn't acknowledge that they've actually passed away. This is very common with like drug overdose. This is very common with suicide. This is very common with like fatal accidents. This is very common with somebody who is like not ready to leave because their loved ones are here on earth. Maybe they've got children. Maybe they're really attached to their partner. And quite often, they don't know that they've passed, or they know that they've passed, but they're not ready to leave. So it's really important for me in my job, first and foremost, before the psychic mediumship, is to be an entity clearer, to be a hashtag Ghostbuster. It's really important for me to make sure my clients are clear, but also that the spirit is passing over. So often we can get these attachments of a human being with no body that is anchoring onto your aura, literally anchoring onto your energy system to stay here on planet Earth. Now, I talk about this quite a lot in my videos, so make sure you go check them out because I talk about this more in depth. But how can you function when you're carrying all of this weight on your aura? It actually feels heavy. Well, this is when we start getting confused, just like the collective entity of the humans in our life with the energetics coming in together and the kind of attaching and molding together, and we have to kind of dismantle. This happens with spirit, but they drain you, right? To the point where you can get sick, you can get mind chatter, you can feel really sad and low because usually they're staying down here for a reason, or maybe they're too afraid to pass over, or maybe they've got something that they want to communicate with you or give to you. So what I like to talk about when I'm talking about communicating with spirit, and you can go check out my recent video on that, is it's like actually asking them, what do you want from me? Right? So they're there for a reason. They're there to be cleared so you can actually clear them and help them pass over. Or maybe they want to communicate with you. Maybe they want to have a conversation with you. Or maybe there's something that they want to gift you. Often spirits will want to gift you something. And I've had the experience of spirit gifting me energy. Like literally after like communicating with the spirit and clearing the spirit, they gifted me a whole lot of energy. So for 2 hours straight, I had like this burst of energy and I was able to get so much done in that 2 hours. I was like, what just happened? So they can gift to you because maybe you somehow helped them, if not in this life, maybe in a past life, and maybe they wanted to like return the favor before you helped clear them, or maybe they wanted to pay you for helping to clear them. Are you still with me? So when we are literally walking around and we are getting these like spirits attaching to us, even if it's a loved one, even if it's a good, quote unquote, good spirit, a high vibrational frequency spirit who's there to help you, but they just need some help passing over, it's going to drain you like crazy. Now, I remember saying to my best friend, your granddad is still around. He was definitely a huge pillar in the whole family's life. And I said, look, your granddad is still around. I can feel him. I can see him. And he's going to be around for a little while. And usually it's around about 3 months that spirit will hang around, in my experience, I've noticed. So they like to, they don't want to just ship off, you know, the minute they pass away. They like to hang around for the funeral. They want to hang around and make sure their family's okay. But if the family is attaching onto the spirit, like, I don't want to let you go, stay with us, you're the pillar of our family, then sometimes the spirit won't go because they're feeling the cries and the need of their loved ones. And my friend said, my granddad will never leave us. He'll be with us always. And I said, darling, that is so, but he must be able to leave to go get his healing for his soul, to go through his processing, so then he can come back and forwards. Spirit is to come backwards and forwards, not to be here the whole time, because then that's when they need to anchor. That's when then they actually attach to your aura. And that is when people get sick. That is when people start to disintegrate because their aura cannot hold it. And therefore the body, because the aura is literally the protection for the body, right? It's our energetic system. When that breaks down, we are literally kind of like open, and we can't do that. So the nicest thing that you can do when it comes to family is to let them go, is to help clear them and know that they're going to come backwards and forwards. But often we will get attachments from spirits that don't even know us. So this is another layer. And often I'll be like, is there like an entity around me? And you pick up on it before it attaches and really like digs its like claws in, and you start getting sick and tired and negative because it's sucking your system, right? And you go, okay, are you here to communicate with me? Are you here to be cleared? Are you here to gift me something? Like, what do you want from me? And you just have to simply ask that question, and you will get an answer. You will get an answer. Get a pen and paper. You can write it down. You can channel through that. Or maybe you get like a vision. Or maybe you just get the word communicate. And then you can say, well, what do you want to do? And then you can do a clearing statement on them. So this is going into kind of advanced stuff here, but the idea is you can feel that something is around you. How do I know if I've got an entity attachment? Well, you can feel an entity around you. And if that entity keeps on coming back, or you're starting to feel the symptoms of the fatigue, of being tired, of feeling kind of sick within your human vessel, or your mind, you're starting to overthink a little bit, you're starting to think negatively, you're getting a bit of a loop, you've probably got an entity attached to you. And this could be a spirit entity like we've been talking about, or it could be another type of energy that is like, that's just literally clung onto you. Like it could be a soul fragment. It could be like a thought entity, like I said before. It could even be another type of entity, right? But the chances are high that it's probably an energy thing from a human being or from a floating energy that has clung onto your aura that you just need to clear. It's just like you're driving down the road in a car. You need to clean the car, right? Because a bird might poo on the car.
Yeah.
You're going to get dust. You're going to get dirt. You're going to get splashes. So the aura is the same. We're walking through the supermarket and there's people around. People are coming straight into your aura. And quite often, different parts of different energies are clinging onto us. A thought pattern could cling on, right? So we need to clear that space every day, like I said at the very beginning, cutting those cord ties and asking any entities or energies that are not here for the highest good or for you to leave immediately. And this will clear the space. You can even visualize like this golden white light, breathing in love and then also breathing out love, and just imagining anything that's attached, just letting go and transmuting to the true white light. So quite often when we get energies attached, we need to go through this clearing process. And the best thing to do is to actually communicate with the spirit, whether you're getting anything back or not. What I like to say is, hey, I feel that there's a spirit around here. Did you know that you have passed away? You first of all got to ask them, do you know that you've passed away? The spirit's going to go, what? You're aware of me being here? Oh my God, I actually have no body. Shit. Some of them don't even know that they've passed away, right? Like I said at the beginning. And then you can say, did you know that you can go and choose again? You can come back. You can choose to be something different. And look at all the lifetimes that you've done this for. Look at your soul experience up until now. Just this invitation to spirit to look at what they've already accomplished as a soul. And then, of course, as the spirit, as the human. And now you can go do it again in a different way. What feels good for you? So I invite you to go now. You may see a light. You may see a loved one. And I invite you to go to have healing, to go through your processing And you can come back to your husband or your children. You can come back to this earthen visit. But what you're doing by attaching to a human body, what you're doing by attaching to my human body or whatever it is, it's not kind. It's actually draining and it's exhaustion. So what I said to my friend and to her granddad is, you need to go and then you can come back. And I actually felt the process when he left. I was like, I can't feel him around at all. He's gone through processing. And I said to my friend, don't worry, your granddad is gone, but he's going to come back. He's gone for processing. And he stayed around for a good 6 months after he passed. He was a very loyal man to his family. Now, some spirits, like I said, can be around for hundreds of years. So I can pick up a spirit and go, I'm aware of a spirit being here. And I'll go through the process. Hey, I know that you're here. Did you know you don't have a body? Did you know that you can choose again? Look at your soul experience so far. Is there anything you want to say to me? Do you want to communicate? Do you want to gift to me? Or do you want to be cleared? And usually I get a really good indicator and then I go with that process. So that is how we clear. Now, what I recommend, if you don't desire to go deeper into trainings, which is what I offer in Magnificent Mediumship, where we get to play and practice and create together, is I recommend that you create your own process, your own procedure. So like I said in my latest YouTube video, which was all about spirit communication, having a process is really important because we don't want to just be kind of throwing our mediumship gifts and connecting to spirit or energies or entities willy-nilly, because that can actually be dangerous. We want to make sure that we are creating a space for this. So if you're interested in becoming a boss entity clearer, take the things that I've taught you today. Create your own procedure. If you want to go deeper into this, then come and do Magnificent Mediumship Certification. Of course, you can find me on Instagram at Awaken with Victoria Bond. Also, my Awaken community with Victoria Bond on Facebook. And my website's the same, Awaken with Victoria Bond, as well as on YouTube. So you can go as far and deep as you want. But one thing I know is that being this kind of ghostbuster and clearing entities is number one of importance when we're going into mediumship. Because otherwise what happens is we can be talking to a human, but we can get confused because there's so many entities and energies connected to that person. Have you ever met someone before and gone, there's something not quite right with that person? Or there's like a non-trust energy, or they seem a bit shifty, or their aura seems a bit weird and loud. It's because you're perceiving entities. And anyone who's got any type of addicts, like any addictions going on, and they love to go to the pub and they love to do recreational stuff, or they're on prescriptions or whatever, like there is a time and place for all those things. I 100% agree. And I have done all the things, but often there'll be like these cracks in the aura where entities will either attach or even come in. So often we're talking to someone who's not actually that original occupant. There's quite a few entities within that person's aura, not just on the outside. But to keep this nice and basic, I know we've gone into the depths of the channel has been into entities and helping entities pass over and all that type of stuff. I hope that you've got some value out of this. But to keep this nice and basic, the questions are, do you have an entity attached? Is it a yes? Is it a no? I believe 99% of people do have entities attached unless they know how to clear themselves, and then they become the clearing. How do you clear it? Well, you ask. You know that you're the strongest entity in your reality, and you ask with the true white light coming from your heart. You ask for any entities that are not here for the good of you or the universe or the earth or your aura and body to step away now. You cut those cord ties from the third eye and the heart. And how do you stay clear? Well, the truth is, just like in life, you're going to have to clean the car again and again and again and again, because you clean it and it's not going to stay clean. You wash your body because you are literally shedding all the time and exercising and moving and picking up bits and pieces all over your body. So you need to clean it. So the answer to that question is doing a clearing every single day, creating your own procedure, using smudging sticks and oils and candles, all of that type of stuff raises the frequency, but cutting those cord ties every single day is super important. I hope you have enjoyed this YouTube video. If you would like to send this to a friend who has night terrors or feels like they're getting attacked or feeling just not quite themselves, then please do so. Or anyone that's interested in the spiritual entity mediumship stuff, I would be ever so grateful. Make sure you subscribe. Come and follow me on my other platforms. And if you're interested in doing magnificent mediumship, our next round is in September. Make sure you check out awakenwithvictoriabond.com to find out the juicy deets for that and jump into the early bird. Until next time, namaste.